Hi, Kristen. Hmm.
Hello and welcome everyone. It's so good to see folks. I am going to pass it to George, who is going to be leading this session. Just a reminder, if you can stay muted during the session, we will have a lot of time at the end for questions that folks may have, and you can always put them in the chat if any questions pop up and you don't want to forget them. And George, I'm just gonna pass it over to you.
Oh, sure. Thank you. 1 second. Here we go. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening. So from wherever you are, I'd just like to extend a word of welcome and thank you for joining us. Thank you, Kristen. As Kristen mentioned, this session is and will be recorded for future purposes, and so there will be an opportunity for a Q&A at the end of the session. So please, feel free to gather your questions and certainly be able to host and to entertain any of your questions, and we'll have plenty of time to do so. Also, another way that you can ask your question is certainly through the chat. So that's probably the easiest and fastest way to be able to do that. So if you have any questions you'd like to pop into the chat, we'd love to be able to entertain those, and Kristen and the team will be taking a look at those as we have this presentation ongoing. So we'll go to the next slide here. All right, so here we are, the biggest celebration of our time, as I shared with our team, our 375th celebration. As you know, will take place this year in July, the weekend of July the 18th through the 20th of this year. So we're very much looking forward to it. It should be nice and warm, so dress comfortably and appropriately, especially during our time. Last time in St. Louis, we knew it was pretty hot, so no, it'll be a pretty warm weather as well. This was an interesting process that we've been through as a committee, and as Kristen mentioned initially, my name is George De Jesus. I am the Director of Mission Advancement for the Sisters of St. Joseph of Brentwood. So on behalf of the Sisters of St. Joseph here in Brentwood, New York, I'd like to extend our blessings and thank you for joining us for this incredible celebration here. As you can see, we have a beautiful theme and certainly logo, and so that we've been able to share with not only with our congregations here in the U.S. but around the world. And in terms of looking at what we're looking to do, and certainly what we see here are three flags that we've kind of stapled down and say this is who we are and this is what we're going to do on this weekend in terms of celebrating. Obviously, we have a lot to celebrate of our history of over 375 years. And we're going to take that opportunity on Friday to really to take the celebration to another level, and you'll hear more about that shortly. Absolutely, I have you. The second part of this, certainly on Saturday, we're going to look at what is our current reality in terms of embracing our current reality, and we have some great presenters, which we will talk more about shortly. And then, of course, we want to see how we're going to ignite or perhaps reignite that fire that burns within each and every one of us. So we look forward to elaborating more on this these three very important topics in terms of celebrating, embracing, and igniting throughout the course of the weekend. And we have some wonderful presenters, but also wonderful activities that we look to participate and take part in with everyone. So go to the next one. So I've been fortunate to have been asked to join this incredible committee and hear the names of the folks, but of course we're led by our fearless leader and Sister Mary Ellen Kane, the chair, as well as all the folks that are here, Kristen and Stella, as you may know from the Federation, and others, Sarah, myself, Jennifer, Kara, and Sister Betsy, and of course Christian Murphy, who is my colleague here with the Sisters of St. Joseph of Brentwood. So a wonderful opportunity for us to work together. We've been working together for over a year to prepare this spectacular event, and we hope that that what we've worked on and certainly have encouraged others to participate and give some feedback to us. We'll be able to share that with you throughout the course of the weekend. See the next one. So, as you know, the on-site registration, or the weekend of July the 18th through the 20th, is let's see, who's showing the slide. Oh, I can't see them. Okay, so someone is mentioning about not being able to see the slides. But the on-site registration for the 375th celebration will begin that Friday afternoon on July 18th, and will conclude on Sunday, July the 20th, after the banquet. So the event will take place at the Sheraton Hotel in Kansas City, Missouri, at the Crown Center, Kansas City Hotel at Crown Center. This will give us an opportunity to spend a weekend together, but also to share in the charism of the Sisters of St. Joseph. So everyone is invited to participate. May it be a Sister of St. Joseph, an associate, an agrégé, St. Joseph worker, Charism in Motion, the school, our alums, certainly of all of our schools, and many more. Anyone who really understands and feels the embracing of the charism of the Sisters of St. Joseph in our family are welcome to join us. So please feel free to extend that invitation to as many and to any who feel that this is an important part of their lives. And we've touched so many people across, over the 375 years, but certainly most recently, the folks that we have touched are obviously welcome to join us. So here's just again a brief overview in terms of what we'd like to do and the why. Why are we doing this, and why are we celebrating this monumental time in the life of the Sisters of St. Joseph and all of us, and as participants and partners. So know that we're committed to meeting all the accessibility needs, at registration and across the entire spectrum in terms of how we're going to offer this to everyone who can participate. So hearing impaired, large print, mobility, hotel rooms, all gender bathrooms, etc., all will be a part of this. Affinity groups. So affinity groups are opportunities for individuals to come together around the shared identity and based on interests, and so or anything they hold dear to their hearts. And so the affinity groups provide an affirming and safe space for individuals to discuss their needs, challenges, and successes. We respectfully ask that only people who identify as people of color or LGBTQIA+ register for the respective affinity spaces. People of color affinity spaces, only people who identify as Black, Indigenous, or people of color are expected. LGBTQIA+ affinity our space. This is an opportunity, a space when anyone who identifies as either lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, gender fluid, gender non-binary, beyond labels, or without. So all of those folks are invited to participate in the affinity groups. It's definitely an opportunity for us to be able to engage in certainly a meaningful conversation, but also to deepen, to get to meet folks and deepen our relationship with each other is definitely the goal as part of these affinity groups. Go to the next slide now. So as we said, the event will take place at the Sheraton in Kansas City Hotel and Crown Center. You will get the chance. It's a beautiful hotel. We have some photos that we're going to share with you as well. The price that we've been able to lock down for these nights is $183. It'll be their king or queen size bed. And we can they would only accept four up to four people in the room. So the discount will be available until Tuesday, July 15th. It will be available from Tuesday, July 15th through Wednesday, July 23rd. So it's also pending on availability of the hotel. So we certainly recommend and suggest that you register early. Discounted rates, the hotel in that sense will be reserved for us during that time. So you'll need to provide a credit card during registration. Your registration request will be sent to the hotel, and you will receive a hotel confirmation in approximately 3 weeks. If you feel that you have any questions or you need to speak to someone about reservations, you will need to contact Nick's management, who will be handling the event for us. So we won't be able to answer some of the questions about the hotel, but contacting directly to Nick's, they will be able to handle any of the questions and accessibility issues you may have with them directly. So, and here are just some of the beautiful photos which were taken, and we'd like to share them with you. And I think the space is great for what we're looking to do here. So I think you'll enjoy that. Okay, let's talk about our MC. So Meredith Lynch is a content creator, a comedian. She's known for engaging commentary and popular culture. Her unique perspective and humorous approach has garnered her a dedicated following for sure, making her a respected voice in both the digital content space and academic circles. She credits her success to the CSJ schooling, which began at Arlington Catholic High School and continued at Regis College, where she received a BA in Communications. In 2020, she joined Mount St. Mary's University in Los Angeles as an assistant director of the CSJ Institute, where she utilized 10 years of nonprofit experience as her passion to the CSJ charism and to advance the mission of the Sisters of St. Joseph at the university and beyond. Currently, Meredith is completing her MFA in creative writing at Mount St. Mary's while continuing content creation and consultation trends and individuals on social media strategy. Her podcast, Oddly Specific, features important conversations around pop culture and finance through the lens of closing the wealth gap. So recent guests include Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Ed Markey, and a Pulitzer Prize winner journalist Gretchen Morgensen. And Gretchen at Meredith's Meredith's work has been featured in the LA Times as well as NBC National News and Business Insiders. She lives in California with her husband and her rescue dog. So we're very much looking forward to spending some time with Meredith, and we've already had a number of conversations with her, and it's going to be very exciting. So she's excited about it, and so are we to have her as our MC. And next. Okay. What happened here? Okay. Okay, Ryan. So two of our speakers are two keynote speakers. First is Ryan Murphy. Ryan is an assistant professor of sociology at Chestnut Hill College and mission integration coordinator for the Sisters of St. Joseph in Philadelphia. Ryan holds a doctorate in sociology at Temple University and a bachelor's degree and master's degree from St. Joseph's University. Ryan's research interests are in women, religious, social stratification, gender and sexuality, and social determinants of health. Ryan is presented at national and international conferences. and has published articles in sociology, religious studies, and history of academic journals. At Chestnut Hill College, Ryan teaches sociology courses and focuses on the structural inequality, and regularly leads groups throughout through historical tours of the heritage area in the Sisters of St. Joseph's Mother House. Ryan is married and to his partner Krista, and both Krista and Ryan are CSJ associates and are proud parents of their son Liam. So very excited to have Ryan as a part of this. And of course, Dr. Ann McInerney Johnson is the 12th president of Mount St. Mary's University, the only women's university in Los Angeles and one of the most diverse in the nation. She has over 30 years of experience and as recognized as a leader for the advancement of women and champions the innovative teaching and learning. Since her appointment in 2011, Dr. McInerney Johnson has held and implemented a strategic vision for the university that fosters a culture of inclusiveness, experiences preparing students for to be global leaders and pursue purpose-filled lives. Her vision is rooted in the traditions and heritage of the university's founding Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, as well as the university's institutional mission. I think we're all going to enjoy Ann's presentation, and we've spoken with Ann and very much looking forward to being a big part of our weekend. So we can go on to talk more about Ann, but there's so much more, and we'll hear more about her as we gather. Of course, we're proud and honored to have our sister here in Brentwood, Sister Elizabeth or Sister Beth Johnson, to present on Saturday. So we're very excited to have Sister Beth Johnson present. For those of you who don't know, Sister Elizabeth or Sister Beth Johnson is a distinguished professor of theology emeriti at Fordham University in New York. She's a former president of the Catholic Theological Society of America. She loves to teach and is mentioned by students who themselves are now professors. So she has lectured widely to the church and academic groups at home and abroad. The most recent of her award-winning books is Come, Have Breakfast, Meditations of God and the Earth, from which this celebratory presentation is taken. So looking forward to seeing Sister Beth as well, Beth Johnson, and to hearing from her throughout the course of the weekend, primarily on Saturday for her talk. So this year we're trying something very different and very new to us, different certainly from our experience over in St. Louis. And so we'd like to introduce Matt LeBlanca, who Matt is a renowned actor who has made his Broadway debut with the Mel Brooks magical Young Frankenstein, where he covered the role and stepped in during previews. He has since appeared on Broadway in White Christmas, as well as 2019 Tony Award-winning play A Christmas Carol. In addition to performing, Matt is a proud New York City music teacher at PS 151 in Woodside, Queens, and is deeply committed to the Sisters of St. Joseph of Brentwood, and thanks them in his show for their support. The show that Matt will be performing is called Communion. Communion is a one-man show written and performed by Matt. It speaks about his true life experience that causes a crisis of faith, not only for himself, but for his entire community. The play is based on a real-life story of a Broadway actor and playwright, Matt. Communion spotlights these themes of delusion, spiritual trauma, and hope, reminding those who would use religion to discriminate that we are called to love one another. I think we're very excited that Matt has agreed to join us for this presentation, and so is he. So we're looking forward to this unique opportunity and experience for a one-man show during our presentation on Saturday. So go to next. So Danielle is the director of Art Studio at the Art Studio program at Cristo Rey High School and serves as an adjunct faculty member at Chestnut Hill College. Danielle is an associate of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Philadelphia. Danielle supervises student teachers and art therapy interns through a partnership with Temple University's Tyler School of Art and Design. Danielle's mission has shifted from teaching the element of principles and design to creating spaces in the art studio that feel like home and put students in the present moment. From this place, Danielle, from this place of inner calm, Danielle, and educational space, she becomes one of mark making, meaning making, and grace seeking for students to embrace a posture of lifelong makers of art in whatever form that may take. Danielle's committed to the mission that for students who live amid a myriad of challenges, education is the most dependable form of freedom. And Danielle lives in, this is interesting, I always can say this, Cockenshaken with her husband. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad. Her husband, Mike, and 14 years who love big Italian meals at every moment they can share over in the Jersey Shores. And she's promised that she'll invite us all to the Jersey Shore for a big Italian meal soon. So we're honored to have Danielle join us as the artist in resident for the weekend. I'm not sure if Christian is on with us. Kristen, do you know if Christian is on with us for this portion?
Christian is not, but I can
Yep.
share what he sent in if
You
that
got it.
works. Okay, great. So for those of you who have gone to events before in the past, our justice action is going to look a little bit different. And I think it is really a way for us to be responsive to our times. Since 1650, the Sisters of St. Joseph have committed to walking with the most poor and marginalized. And we always keep that in the back of our minds with whatever we are choosing to do. So as we get closer to this 375th celebration, we'll offer more specifics and details about how we're being called to embrace the action of Ignite. But for now, we really want to give you this idea to reflect on as we prepare. And that's the sentiment of claiming the fire of Mother St. John Fontbonne. This is something that folks from the Justice Committee shared with one another when they met for the first time and really found inspiration in it. And we're going to be offering unique opportunities to claim the fires of justice in ways that will be mindful of our current world and the ever-changing dynamics of justice work. As you know, in the last couple of weeks, things have changed quite drastically. And rather than saying this is going to be our action, this is going to be our cause, we want to be able to have more freedom to respond to all of the needs that have arisen. And so we will have some actions and new neighbors to advocate with, and we'll share more as that becomes available.
Perfect. All right, so registration, as indicated here, will begin, opens up on Tuesday. So next Tuesday, the February 18th. The link will be available on the Federation website, so you can visit us on the website and begin the registration process. The early bird registration, which is really important, will end on April 25th. And included with the registration fees are breakfast, lunches, and the final banquet on Sunday. We will send out a membership discount code on the 18th as well. So be on the lookout for that. And I think the next here is just a slide of what the registration page on the, or at least the homepage of the celebration will look like on the Federation website. So again, just on the 18th, you will be able to go on and to begin that process. All right, so here's just a couple of details in terms of costs. So the hotel will be paid through the same website. So at the time of registration, so they will accept credit card and checks. Preferred payment will be a credit card if possible, but all checks will be sent to the hotel. Must be received by June 20th, or registration will be canceled. Religious communities can send their checks in if need be. All will be handled through NICS. We won't be able to answer any of your questions through the Federation. It will be handled through NICS regarding registration and the hotel reservations. So dues paying members include all U.S. CSSJ member sisters, as well as those lay partners who have paid to be members. And the early bird ends on April 25th. Okay, and the price here again does not include the cost of the hotel. This is just for the registration, for early registration, and the regular price for dues and non-dues members.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the virtual options. We were lucky enough for our last event, 2022, where we were able to have this option that everybody can join. We would love to have everybody in person. We think there's something special about being in the same room and building connections, but we know this isn't feasible for everyone and want to make sure that everyone feels still part of the Federation and this greater Joseph family. And with this virtual option, you'll pretty much have access to the entire weekend. You'll have access to our opening prayer, our speakers, our mass, and our morning prayers as well. And we offer a variety of different options for people who are looking at this. You'll see that we have the individual and family household. We have the different amounts for those who are dues paying members and those who are non-dues paying members. I'll go over next slide, what that actually means. And then we have a groups option. I loved seeing photos from folks who used this as an option. We had folks, I think it was Baden, they had made essentially signs and little cutouts for people to take photos and really get in the spirit of being a part of the event. So even though you can't be in location, we're bringing the Kansas City party to you and to your group. So we have had mother houses, we had a college, we had some assisted livings, all use this as an option. And it's based on how many people you expect to go. So if you're smaller, we have, a discounted rate there. And then if you have more than 16 people, so thinking, a mother house that might host a viewing party, we have that option. What is different this year compared to other years, and this is from all of your responses, and we really appreciate the feedback that you gave us, is that you wanted to be a part of breakout rooms and have the same conversations that we were having in the room. So folks will be assigned tables. They'll have table time to meet, sharing of the heart with one another. And so we took that feedback, and we are going to be offering the option to, again, have these breakout rooms. Now, if you want to be in a breakout room, you have to have an individual household, essentially option of what you're paying for. The reason for this is that if you have a group that's set up, not everybody can participate. It's not feasible. They'll probably already have their own sharing of the heart within their spaces. And it also just leads to connectivity issues and who's in charge of what. And if we have a group that isn't participating and is sorted into a breakout room, it means that numbers could be uneven. So we want to keep this as intimate and connected as possible. And just to say that the virtual links cannot be shared. So we had a question about the groups. Now, if you purchase, like the 2 to 5, will each person get a link? The answer is no. It is one link per group, one link per an individual. If somebody else logs in using your link, it will kick them off or kick, you yourself off. So we don't want that to happen and wanted to, really talk about that ahead of time. So membership. This gets a little confusing because we like to say that everybody is a member of the U.S. Federation of the Sisters of St. Joseph, but there is a difference between being a member and being a dues-paying member. For those who don't know, we have this membership program for folks who would like to support the work of the Federation and see it continue. As you know, our congregations and the landscape of religious life has changed, and we, want people to feel ownership of this charism, as well as making sure the good work of the Federation continues. So we started this program. And one of the benefits of being a member, a dues paying member, is that there are discounts on things. If you notice a couple of slides back when we were talking about the dues paying versus non-dues paying, it's about $100 difference. So we think that's a pretty good discount and possibly a good reason to become a member now. For those who are already members, we thank you. You will be receiving a code on February 18th when registration opens that will give you those discounted rates. But if you're not a member, you do not have to worry. We can still get you signed up. And we will post a bunch of links at the end that will point you into the right direction. But we do ask that if you are considering becoming a member before registering, please sign up as a member first so that we can get you the correct code so that you can get that discount. We can't retroactively give discounts. As you can see, it's $50 a year if you're an individual, $75 if you're a family. So maybe we have partners who are both associates together and want to have access to the Federation. And then we have institutional membership. And there's been some questions about that, so I'm just going to clarify a little bit. Institutional memberships was basically created so that groups like colleges, universities, we have high schools, we have institutes. I'm trying to think of, we have some ministry sites that have signed up as institutions, basically saying that not every person in this institution or organization is going to become an individual member. Maybe they don't have that relationship with the Federation, though they're always welcome to. So we have, depending on how many seats you would like, we have different levels of the institution organizational. And so based on what that level is, you'll get, a discounted set of codes for that number of people. The institutional memberships do not include groups. So we've gotten questions about, if I'm an associate with this congregation, can we sign up as an institution? And the answer is no, that your connection is an individual connection to the Federation. The institutional memberships is really for ministries, colleges, things that are incorporated. Gonna make sure make sure I got everything here. If you do not receive a code, and think you should, or if you need to check your membership, please do email us at our info email so that we can clarify that for you. We do know that the costs are a little high. Food costs have gone up, travel costs have gone up. And so we do want to offer scholarships for folks so we can make sure that a variety of people can attend the event. We had a similar program for Event 2022. I think it was a great success in that we were able to offer, I think we had about 30 scholarships that enabled people from schools, from our St. Joseph worker community, folks who are in college, recently graduated college, who might not have the same amount of resources. These are going to be open to essentially anyone who associates to the charism except sisters. And the reason for that is that congregations pay for the sisters. So it's not that we're singling anyone out. We're just prioritizing this group and prioritizing our young, diverse audience. If you don't fit young and diverse, we are open to other groups. We realize that, we have some seniors who are on fixed incomes and welcome them to apply for scholarships. The scholarships are open already, and they will be open until April 21st. So essentially, we're going to end it a couple days before the early bird discount. They're accepted on a rolling basis, which means once you send it in, we will give you a decision within a couple days. There's no means-based testing. You don't have to submit any documents about why you may need it. It's basically kind of an honor system of you looking at your finances and saying, this is a financial hardship. I wouldn't be able to attend without it, and then applying. But once the funds end, they're done. So that's why we're recommending that people do this pretty quickly. Though if you do not need a scholarship and you feel called to do so, there will be an option to donate when you're registering. So all of the funds from that donation box will go to scholarships so that we can make sure that we're getting as many people as possible. The scholarships will not be able to cover everything, but we do think it'll cover a really good portion of it. So that means that it will cover registration costs, and then there will be a small stipend for hotel and travel costs. And it'll be $750 total for both. So that includes the registration and the limited stipend. And I do want to encourage folks that if you know somebody who may be interested in attending, but likely would say they can't because of financial concerns, please encourage them to apply. We have a lot of people who applied, were given scholarships, attended event 2022, and now have become very active participants in the Federation, including some folks who were able to attend Charism in Motion, which is a group for those between their 20s and 40s, attended a pilgrimage this summer to Le Puy and continue to run sharing of the heart, prayer groups. And so we really welcome everyone. All right, George, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Gotcha. Thank you. Let's see. We got the next slide. Yeah. So as part of the celebration, we are widening the tent and want to give people from a variety of backgrounds a chance to speak at this event. So everyone is invited to submit a potential presentation idea. We welcome and invite those from diverse backgrounds to apply. We're looking for topics that represent a wide breadth of experience from our Joseph family that can speak to the varied experiences of our members. So these presentations will take place during lunch on Saturday and Sunday. So participants will take their lunches with them during these sessions. Unfortunately, there will only be a limited amount of number of presentations that we can take each day. So not every application will be accepted. The presentations should be between 30 to 45 minutes long. This is a volunteer opportunity, so we're not looking for marketing presentations. These presentations will not be live streamed, and presenters must be in person. All presenters must meet with a Federation staff member to discuss content prior to the event. So very exciting opportunity. So we welcome, and some have already submitted and some ideas, but we certainly welcome everyone and anyone to present your idea, and hopefully we can have small groups during lunch on Saturday and Sunday. So go to the next slide. So in preparation for this event for the 375th anniversary celebration, the U.S. and Canada Federation's Lifelong Transformation Committee is holding a series of listening sessions. Already there was one on January 29th. The next one will be held on March 18th, and the last one will be held on May 1st. So all or near important CSSJ dates, St. Joseph's, around St. Joseph's Day and St. Joseph the Worker. These are the different topics which the first one went very, very well and very well attended. But it's not necessary to attend, but certainly we welcome your participation to help foster a more deeper conversation on topics that we will be discussing during our celebration. So if you're interested in those dates, you have again, there are 2 more dates coming up on the 18th and May 1st. And then finally, here are our links, as Kristen mentioned. Obviously, the link to our webpage, which will starting on the 18th, you'll have access to be able to begin the registration process. Those are our dues members as well. Scholarship applications, as Kristen just mentioned, we'll be able to. It's open now, so you can go to these links now. And any questions regarding registration or so, again, will be directed towards Nix, the company who is handling our registration process. And of course, if you have any questions about the 375th celebration prior or anytime, is our direct email, which is info@cssifed.org. So you're more than welcome to send any questions to any of us, and we'll be able to respond. At this time, that concludes what we say the formal portion of our presentation, but certainly we'll now open the presentation to questions. I see there are quite a few on the chat, and Kristen will kind of lead us through some of these questions that you presented during the chat. So I thank you for your attentiveness. I am certainly looking forward to seeing all, if not many of you, in July, and very excited to be able to be there with you and to celebrate a wonderful and monumental time during the history of the Sisters of St. Joseph. So thank you very much. And we'll take some of the questions now.
Thanks so much, George. I appreciate it. This is a great presentation, and we have some great questions. I'm going to go through what we have in the chat, just go through the question by question. And we know that there might be some scenarios that are hyper specific to you, to your group. You can always email us. And I promise at the end of this, we'll give you all the links. We'll put them in the chat, and then I will send them to everybody who registered as well, along with a link to this presentation. What time does the day begin on the 18th? What time is dinner on the 20th? So on the 18th, registration will start, I think, approximately 1 p.m. And then I think the program starts at, I think we said 5:30 p.m.
Yes.
Kansas City time. So that's Central Time Zone for anybody who's thinking about coming in virtually. We will have a program available that lists those exact times. I will say that there are some groups who are going to be meeting earlier on Thursday and Friday. If you are a part of, say, communicators, justice promoters, attending the Flame, the Collaborative Under 70, there are probably going to be opportunities for you to attend a little bit earlier. So contact your group about, possibly getting the hotel Thursday night or Wednesday night instead. And then dinner on the 20th, I'm doing a little mental math because I know the liturgy is at 2 p.m. I believe dinner starts at 5 or 6 in the evening. The affinity groups, we got a question of, are the affinity groups something that's only available in person, or will something be available for virtual attendees as well? I think they're going to mostly be in person. The only reason being is that some of the rooms do not have the same connectivity, and the internet is surprisingly expensive to pay for each of the rooms. If there is a huge interest in that, though, we can look into it a little bit more. And then in terms of registering for the group pricing, if you think you will all be in the same space, then you can definitely do the group pricing. If you need individual links because you're going to be at different places watching it, then you would have to register individually. Can a person attend only one presentation? I don't think we're going to have the space to offer that. There is a way to participate if you are local or you will be staying with somebody else. You just don't register for the hotel. You would just register for the event itself. Rose, I know you're in Kansas City, but you can contact me. I just don't think there's going to be a lot of extra space and seats in the room. We are expecting about 450 people, and we're pretty much maxing out the ballroom. The link is now live for scholarships, so you should see that on the website. Again, we'll send that out. If you are a sister, you will receive the code individually from your email. For those whose emails we have. We probably don't have everybody's emails, I'm going to say, because your congregation had to opt in and send us it. Things change. So if you are a sister and do not receive the code on February 18th, you will reach out to us and we'll make sure you get it. Or somebody from your congregation will make sure that you get it as well. We'll make sure that we add all these emails to our list. Is there going to be local justice involved programs and presentations? So the lunch sessions are kind of what we're thinking of being able to highlight some of that. I know there's a lot of good work going on in Kansas City. I lived in Kansas City myself. I have a big love for the city, and I think we just brought Mary Ellen there for the first time, and she loved it. Got to show her around a little bit, and so I think there's so much great stuff going on, and we'd like to highlight that as much as possible. So if you have some ideas for Kansas City or for justice items or other presentations, please submit an application for the lunch presentations. Scholarships are absolutely open to employees of ministries. If the congregation or ministry cannot afford to pay, we certainly think of ministries as part of our wider foundation, our federation. Will DVDs be available for purchase? Roberta, do you mean DVDs of the event or specific presentations or from presenters?
Uh, From my past experience, they usually have the main presentations available. So probably those 4 presentations or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say so for those who are viewing it virtually, it'll be on demand. So if you can't make it to, say, Beth Johnson's because it's too early in the morning, your time, or it happens to be during lunch, you can go back and view it. And those will be available on demand for a little while. Eventually, we will make those talks public, but it won't be for a while. And the reason for that is we really want to honor the people who paid to do this virtually. I don't think we have any, there's been no talks about making it into DVDs, but if that's of interest, you can definitely reach out to us.
Yeah. They used to be available, as you were leaving, you could pick your set of DVDs.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Okay,
I think
interesting.
that's right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so someone was questioning regarding the airport. I think it's in the chat now. So it's the airport is MCI, but Kansas City International, and it's about 30 to 35 minutes away from the hotel, about 21 miles. So I think someone else was asking in regards if there's anyone transporting by train, that the train station is relatively near the hotel. So
The train station is, you don't even have to go outside if you don't want to. There's a walkway from the train station to the hotel, or you can walk outside if it's a relatively nice day, but it is super connected. So if you're coming from St. Louis or the Midwest, it's really easy to use Union Station. And I think Union Station is absolutely gorgeous. The airport just got a huge makeover. It was the first time I've been there in a little while. It's also gorgeous and very easy to get a taxi or a ride share. We are looking into, I see Jenny put in, it's about 20 minutes from the hotel. We are looking at seeing if we can run a shuttle from the hotel to the airport around very specific times. If that does become available, we will let you know. Because the hotel does not offer a van service, unfortunately. The Uber, I want to say we took an Uber and it was like maybe $25. It wasn't very expensive to get there and we split it.
Yeah, the Uber was $25.
Yes, and KCI and MCI is the airport code. KCI is just Kansas City International, the name for the airport. So they're the same thing. Yes, they're the call letters. Thank you, Jenny. Wow, these are all really, really great questions, and I appreciate y'all giving them because they also help us to know what we need to send out. So I did cover about commuters. I'm just looking at some of the questions that we got yesterday, that if you decide to commute, you would just pay for the registration and you'd have your meals covered, except for dinner on Saturday night, which we'll have Jenny, who's been our resident Kansas City expert, as well as Sarah Baker, who are both on our planning committee. Jenny is part of the hospitality committee, and she's been preparing a sort of what to do in Kansas City. So she'll have a list of restaurants, things to do, places to see. If you want to take a little bit of extra time on either end, there's certainly a lot to do. And then, like George mentioned, I just want to reiterate, we prefer you to do credit card if at all possible. It just makes it so much easier. There's a lot of check fraud out there happening. We've had problems. Nix has had problems, which is our conference management. And we don't want that to happen to any of our communities. But we do know there are some communities who that's the preferred way to pay. You do have to get it in by that date, or we might have to cancel your registrations, and we don't want to do that to anybody. But if that's the case, our communities are usually pretty on top of things. So there will be an option in registration to do that. And I think that's about it. Is there any other questions that come up or anything that people would like to come off mute for?
Well, I have another question there. And it is, any chance you can lower the fee for the virtual group of 16 plus? It's a little disproportionate, than the others. And I'm assuming that's because you could have a group of 100 or 50 or,
Yeah.
let's suppose you only had a group of 16. It's disproportionate to the 5 and the whatever the second group was.
Yeah, if you actually, so like doing the math, if you had 16 people, it's $125 a person. So it's actually discounted from the individual rate. So unfortunately, it costs a lot of money to run the AV, like $100,000 to actually be able to do this. And so that rate stands. If there is like a very extenuating circumstance, you can reach out to us individually and we can have a conversation. But yeah, like you said, Roberta, there are some groups that, have 50 people attending. And so per person, it's much cheaper. But unfortunately, we didn't want to like keep making steps and steps and steps of like how many people. And we also know if you have a mother house, how many people you have attend one session might differ on Friday night versus Saturday afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate the questions.
I'm going to be meeting with our associates on Sunday, and I'm wondering if if anybody in that group wants to apply for a scholarship, do they need to be a member of the Federation, a dues paying member
Yes.
first?
They do not have to be a dues paying member in order to be, in order to get the scholarship. Would we love it if people were so inclined after getting the scholarship to become a member? We
That's
would
what
love
I've told them. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
But No, it's basically open to everybody. We know, there's still a lot of outreach that needs to be done on the membership expansion, which is what we call that. So yeah, we won't, if people can't afford to get there, we don't want to force them to also pay that.
Okay, thank you.
So I will, rather than actually putting the links in the chat, I am going to, as soon as we get off here, I'm going to email everybody the links just to make it easier, because I know sometimes it gets really tricky clicking all the links there. And there's a lot of information. There's a lot of this form, that form. So if you do have questions, you'll have our email. Stella and I sort of man the info email. Stella will get back to you super quickly. She's always on top of it. And if there's more questions, you'll hear back from Mary Ellen and I. So we really thank you for being here. And I really hope to see folks in Kansas City or virtually. I'll probably be doing the virtual stuff behind the scenes, so I'll probably see some of your faces.
And
All
please share the link. Share the link with everyone, certainly of this presentation, those who were not able to make it, to be able to watch it as well.
Thank you, Jorge. Thank you, Christine.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful day, everybody.
Thank you. You too.
Bye,
Thank you.
all.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Yes.
See you in
Thank you,
July.
everyone.
Ready.
Thank you very much for
See
sharing
you
all.
in Kansas City.
Almitra, are you still on the call?